Hey guys, welcome back to my channel for an all new episode recap of today's Days of Our Lives, May 22, 2025. So today's episode was definitely paling in comparison to yesterday's episode. Definitely more of a snooze fest. Not really nothing interesting much, but let's get into it, right? So it's Ariana's birthday, and it's a very poor turnout because it's just Gabby and Marlena. And I'm thinking, with everybody, almost everybody related to each other, I would think that there would be more aunts, uncles, cousins, something like that, right? But it's just those three, right? So anyways, they're having a little mini celebration, and Marlena is happy to be there. And they talk about Ariana, what she's been up to, and that she just really wants to be here and be closer to her mom, or so we believe, because based on Marlena's reaction, she thinks that she's up to something, right? Teenagers, young people, right? So anyways, they asked about her graduating, and that maybe she'll have to go back on an early flight. But she said that she just wants to skip graduation and just collect her papers, and that's it. She just really is not interested in it, right? So she just wants to be closer to mom, spend the summer with her. So Gabby's all on board of that because she wants to spend time with her daughter. It's been a while. So anyways, Marlena leaves because she wants to be there in case John reaches home early, right? So Gabby asks her if she wants to, relax, watch, I guess, some episodes of The Nanny. She said no, she's really tired. So at some point, Gabby is looking for her, checking in on her, and she realizes that, Ariana's not there. So Ariana ended up at a bar. I don't know how old this Ariana girl is, if she is underage or 21. I didn't remember. If any one of you remember, let me know in the comments. But yeah, she was at the bar, getting a drink, or Doug was actually there, and they ended up, in the bed together. So now, Gabby is worried. She even called JJ, who she really don't care for. And yeah, boy, this girl look like she's gonna be a lot of trouble. So Belle is looking into what Sean wanted her to look into, which is this Asher guy, and she's trying to find information to help him out. And Brady's talking about how Tate is really sick and if he's gonna even make it in time for the graduation. Belle is kind of there, but she's not there because she's focused on what she's doing. So it's like, it's touching your sympathy, what's going on. So she says she's looking into something for Sean, a case. So it turns out she found something, so she ended up calling Sean about it instead. That, there's good news and bad news. That, is good news is that, she can look in her case notes, and she realized who was the arresting officer, which turned out to be his mom, Hope. So he could be able to, call her and find out what she knows about this Asher guy, because otherwise she doesn't really have much information on his case. The case is sealed, so all of that, is done. So she and Brady get to talking about her affair with EJ, because he's asking about her and Sean, and they're getting close again. So she said, we're always family, we're forever family, but that ship has sailed. I'm with EJ, so you just have to get used to it. So she's asking what she can do to prove to him that he's changing for the better. So he doesn't believe that, and he's always looking into it for himself. So he really is not that fond of her and EJ. Even though Belle is trying to say that, he's doing a good thing, saving the hospital, he doesn't believe that. He believes that he's in it for the wrong intentions. So, he's wondering if she wants to persuade him to vote for him since he's a part of the board. But, he's just going to go based on his conscience. So she's saying, Xander's no better. He just, beat up his cousin. So he said, we're not sure if that has happened. And regardless of what happens, I'm just gonna go with what feels right for me, right? So they're talking about John and getting prepared for his homecoming, and yeah, that was really it. So Sean and Steve, they're at the office, and they're trying to find out more on this Asher guy. They're really not getting through with anything until Belle called and tell them, hey, call up your mom, see what she knows about this Asher guy. So he calls his mom, and turns out that his mom remembered when she arrested him and how it went. So she gave him some information, and they're looking up I guess aliases and what he's into. I guess he's into some petty crime, drug dealing, all of that. So they're trying to find his whereabouts, and Steve was able to use his connections to locate him and set up a meeting with him so that they can get access to the drug, right? So that was really it. Them trying to get closer to the source of who has the Versifex drug. Before Doug surprisingly ended up in bed with Ariana, him and Holly, they were there sitting, studying. Well, he was on his shift and she was there just trying to motivate him to do his GD. He was not interested really because he got this job now and he doesn't think that he can commit to it. So Holly's persistent. She is willing to help him to achieve that. So he said, all right. So he finishes shift and they sit down and they're going through stuff. And, he's trying to, get him on certain subjects. But he said, okay, those are kind of challenging. Let's go to poetry, which he's really fond of. He knows a lot about the authors and everything. So they talk about it. They connect on that a little bit more. And, at some point he said that it's late, let's have a study break. They had some fries and everything, and then he said that he had to leave. Well, before that, he also talked to her about how he's had good days and bad days at the pub. He talked to Julie the other day or the same day, and Julie was rather just harsh to him, and that she's not gonna forgive him, even though he said that he's trying to pay her back, get back the necklace to her. She doesn't want it if it's coming back from him, but he's still gonna try to get the necklace back to her. So Holly empathizes with him, and she's saying hopefully she can forgive him soon enough, right? But to hell with Julie and her feelings, because she's just taking it really overboard, and because of her being a Horton, she takes it, she takes it to another level, and it's just too much, right? So, anyways, she is still owing him up to, him finishing and really, just getting his GED, and he said that he's going to commit to it, right? So he leaves, and she's in the square, and one of the goons is tracking down her. So he did call them and tell them that okay, he's gonna work on the money and get it to them, right? He has a job now, and it's gonna be sorted out. So, anyways, back to Sean and Steve, and Dr. Russell comes in. Dr. Russell's like, it's really a time crunch. I really need to get back access to this drug. So they're saying that they're willing to help him get access back to it, but on one condition, that they need one dosage of the drug. So Dr. Ross is saying, there's no guarantee that's going to help your father. So they're saying it's a risk that they're willing to take, but that's their offer, right? So Dr. Russell said, okay, I'm on board, right? So they all go to the warehouse, seeing how they can get inside. Of course, they don't know if there's a lot of security inside, but at this point, what else are they going to do? So Sean gets a call from Hope, and it's saying she's saying that they're going to read the last rites to his father, because it's just at this point, there's no hope. It's really late. So Sean is devastated, and Steve said, I know that you need to get there. They need the family there. So Sean is saying, look, I'm not gonna give up on my father, not when we're this close. Are you gonna give up? So he's like, no. So we have to find a way to get to that drug, and we don't have enough time. So Marlena comes at the door, and she sees that everything is set up, and they're saying that they're trying to do their best to make sure that Dad has a great homecoming. So she comes in real somber, so they're asking her what's going on. So she tells them that Roman called her and told her that they're having this priest, and they're reading this last rites to Bo. At this point, it's really grim. So Belle was shocked to hear that, because she was just talking to Sean, and she was hoping that they would have two miracles with her dad coming in and his dad recovering. So she's just sorry to hear that, right? So at some point they get a knock at the door, and they think it's John, and they're like surprised, and it's Paul. So they're wondering if Paul and Andrew are at the car parking it. So he said no, Andrew's still getting working on getting released from the ISA, and John had to make a pit stop. So it seems as if they're running with this storyline for God knows whatever reason, drawing it out further. I don't know. I'm not really feeling this exit storyline for John at all. What do you guys think? So back to Sean, Steve, and Dr. Russell. So they got some reinforcement, and it turned out to be somebody in a black hoodie posing as John. So this quote unquote John is going to help them to get access to the drug so that it can save Bo's life. But I'm just saying, Honestly, this ended is ridiculous because and then they made the person have this husky voice as the original John, and it's like, why are these people drawing out the storyline? This actor's been gone for quite a while. They could have given him a simple but still effective storyline to exit his role on Days, and I'm just thinking that this is just too long and too drawn out. First, they had this whole escapade around Europe. They're trying to find him, and it never worked out. And then they draw it out and draw it out for months. And I get that they still had to scramble for a storyline given his sudden death. But come on now, like I don't know. But let me know in the comments, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to my channel. And continue to share them around. It definitely helps. Appreciate all the support thus far.